Charlie Parsons for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate, available on DAZN. We're in Riyadh at the media lunch. Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn again.
Well, he's not happy with you because you said you were Team Matchroom.
Well, no, the question that was put to me, which can be seen...
and he looked after you earlier. When you was trying to look for your seat, he called over the boss and asked for the high chair, didn't you?
Yeah. The high chair, wow.
The high chair.
Yeah.
Can I just say that the reaction to the interview, what's gone down better is just the pair of you mugging me off, because apparently they like you mugging me off, they like Frank mugging me off.
Everyone likes it. Because I keep saying, you're doing very well, but unless we mug you off, you're going to turn into just an arsehole. So we're trying
Frank,
to keep you grounded.
I feel like Frank's a bit more, you've got nicer things to...
We're just trying to keep you grounded.
Yeah. Okay. Lovely little media lunch today, obviously celebrating what we have on Saturday, which is a spectacle in itself for the sport of boxing. Just firstly, a couple of days away now, the way fight week's unfolding. Happy with everything?
Yeah, can't wait. We've got the presser time. We were just saying, we think it'll probably get a bit lively at the presser, to be honest with you. You know, there's a lot of rivalry. A lot of guys have never boxed under this kind of pressure before, this kind of platform. So you could see people get nervous, get overexcited, and you know, the build-up's been great.
Frank, what do you think about your guys? I mean, I see you jeering them up at the face-off. Daniel Dubois certainly is not only fighting for himself, but for you. Excited ahead of Saturday?
I'm excited. I want them to fight for themselves. It's great that they're doing it for Queensberry, and as you say, hopefully for me as well. But more importantly, they do it for themselves. Tremendous opportunity for all of them. Competitive fights, as we keep banging on about. Great rivalry between everybody, and I think it's going to get even much more lively than it is now. You've seen it go off a bit between Craig and Willie, and I think you're going to see it with a couple of the other guys over the next couple of days when they're doing their face-offs. There's a lot. There's so much for the winners to get out of this. And the losers, some of them are going to wind up in positions where maybe their careers will take a totally different avenue, and it won't be going up, it'll be going over that way.
Away from the 5v5, I'm curious, because obviously this is like family feud, right? Long sort of history. What was your old man's first thoughts when the pair of you started to come together, and what's his thoughts now?
Fair, look, I think the problem between those two was the same problem between us two, which is we're competitive, we want to win, we stand our ground, and he's always said to me, "Oh no, you'll get on with Frank. He's socially, we just never really done business together. We're both very competitive," and that was the same. And when we did come together, I think it was more like, "Oh, he's all right actually." It's actually, but also the similarities between the families as well. Both come from similar kind of backgrounds. Both got sons who work in the business. Both very family orientated. Both love boxing. Both want to win in business. Both like the social. There's actually a lot of similarities, and it was only really kind of the wedge that was driven between us, and a natural rivalry that's also been good for boxing. A lot of people now are saying, "Oh, they should have done this years ago." We should have, but the ambition that we've both had has opened a lot of doors for boxing and provided a lot of opportunities for fighters.
And when you think about it, our little island compared with like the size of America and other countries, how well between us we've done to bring British boxing and bring it through. I mean, we've done both of us have done a fabulous job over the years, and it's culmination to where we are today with what's happening today.
We touched on it earlier on the week about sort of how it wasn't even a year ago that the sort of certainly wasn't as amicable as the two of you sat next to each other and having lunch now. But what is, from that first conversation, I'm sure you guys will remember it, where you first sat down together and there was a bit of a vision of like, okay, maybe at first it was whether we like it or not, we're going to start working together, to now you guys cooperating and enjoying it. How was that dynamic
That's
change?
a good point, because I think at first it was what you just said. It was December 23, you guys are working together, stop it, this is a massive opportunity for boxing, great opportunity for our fighters, but because of the relationship and because of how much we've enjoyed it, all this stuff has evolved, not just for the 5v5, but for Caldina against Kakachi, for Shev against Zorro, for Masood against Liam Davis. All fights that would never have got made previously, and we're actively looking now, when can we do the next 5v5? What other fights do you want to make? Let's build the card, with us and Spencer, and for LA and Wembley and so forth. So I think His Excellency brought us together, but actually the fact that we've got on has helped evolve the relationship.
What was that first bloody hell, fly in my eye. What was that first conversation like, Frank? What was that first conversation when you sort of sat down and this was going to become a thing like for you guys, and how has it developed?
Well, look, obviously, you know, you don't know each other. It's only basically not been interaction, but any response to each other has been via you guys with your clickbait stuff, and that's how it's been. No, I was being in a nice way. I was quite pleasantly surprised, and I quite enjoyed sitting down talking about boxing. I could see the passion there with Eddie, and the hard work. He's a grafter, like all of us in this sport. You know, you have to work very hard. It's the old adage: the luckier you get, the harder you work, and we really do. We all do that. All about everybody here works hard, and I was, as I say, pleasantly surprised, and I'm pleased, really pleased where we are, because I think it's going to be. I think it will get better and better, and I'm sure along the line there'll be like everything, there'll be a couple of differences of opinions, but the main thing is we stay focused, and at least I think if something we don't agree on, we're sensible enough to say how it is and deal with it, park it up and move on, and hopefully continue what we're doing.
Just finally from me, because as I'm sure you guys want to eat, I do as well. The pinnacle of you guys working together will be Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. I think that's very fair to say. Do we both believe that this fight happens? I suppose now more so than ever, right? And I suppose it's an opportunity for both of you to speak to each other on camera. Why does AJ win, Frank? Why does Tyson win?
There's no point talking about that, because they've both got their respective fights planned. We back our man, they back their man. One thing I would say, I think if we had this relationship a couple of years ago, I think we would have already made AJ against Tyson Fury. Now, hopefully we can.
Yeah, and I agree with that. They're not out. Tyson's not out until the Usyk fight in December 21 over here, so it's a long way away. AJ's out at Wembley, I think it's 21st or the 28th of September. Let them get through their respective fights and then have a look at it and see where we go. Of course, it's a fight everybody wants to see, and I absolutely agree with what's been said here by Eddie, that had we had this relationship, we'd have made that fight. But you know what? It's a bigger fight because it hasn't been made. And when it does happen, if it happens, it's going to be a mega fight.
Well, better late than never. Both of you, a pleasure as always. Thank you very much. Again, Frank, go on, one more time. One more time, Frank. They love it.
Charlie, get your marigolds on, son, because you'll be washing up. You've got to play your one.
Eddie loves it, I know it.